The Little Living Christmas Tree by Maria Miletich Dale. Read by Julia Harnett Harvey. A story told to Maria by her longtime friend Julia one Christmas Eve when they were reminiscing, sharing memories of World War II. War is hell, especially for the children. Here is Julia's story. The war was raging in Europe and England felt its deadly sting. Planes flew from the continent and dropped bombs in the heart of London. Everybody ran everywhere. There were three little sisters, Valerie, Mary, and Julia, the youngest. They were sent away to the north, where there was less danger. Mum and Dad had to stay in London. Many kind people volunteered to take the girls into their homes. It was not easy for the sisters to be separated. Julia was whisked off first. Each carried a small bag with her belongings. Julia found shelter with a good family, but she missed her own, and Christmas was approaching. Christmas dinner was festive, but there was little food and no money to buy a Christmas tree. The family was sad. But then Julia remembered the small pine in front of the house. There was nothing else to do but to dig up the little tree, ever so gently, and bring it into the house. It was kept alive by letting the soil cling to its roots. It was happily decorated with ornaments. There was great enjoyment and dancing around the tree. Even Julia managed to forget, for a while, that she was not with her own family for Christmas. When Christmas was over, the little pine tree was lovingly and carefully replanted in its old spot. It was a great comfort for Julia to know that the little tree would live on. The war continued. It was out of the question for Julia to return to London. Another Christmas arrived, and out came the little pine, which had grown a few healthy inches. The next year, once again, they gathered around the tree, finding comfort in its presence and joy in its light. It was magic. Julia wrote to her parents about the little pine tree, which every year became a real living Christmas tree. Each Christmas the little pine was bigger, and Julia loved it even more. Finally the war was over. Julia's parents came to get their little girl. The sisters Mary and Valerie had already come home. Everybody was happy. The war was over. Goodbyes were loud and joyous, until Julia remembered her beloved little pine tree. She didn't say goodbye to the tree. It wasn't easy to part. The master of the house looked at his wife, and both of them suddenly knew what to do. Since Julia loved this tree so much, it should belong to her, wherever she may be. The tree was wrapped for the journey. Arriving home, Julia greeted her sisters and proceeded to replant the tree with the help of her father. The sisters had grown since they saw each other. Mary and Valerie loved the tree. In the years to come, the pine tree was dug up by their father and brought into the house for the joy of Christmas. The tree was getting quite tall, and so were the girls. Mary was the first sister to leave the house. The tree grew bigger, but Father insisted on bringing it into the house for Christmas. Julia and Valerie tried to encircle the tree, but it wasn't easy anymore. Valerie was the next one to leave. The following year, the tree was really too big for Father to dig up. Mother was worried that he'd try anyway. However, Father realized that he was getting too old and weak. The tree must have grown 2 feet since last year. It's too big for the house. Mother was relieved. Julia couldn't imagine decorating any other tree but her own. She would sooner have none at all. But then suddenly she had a grand idea. Julia hurried to finish the job before nightfall. She sat her parents in front of the big window in their comfortable chairs, covered them with warm blankets, and then she slowly pulled back the heavy drapes, revealing the most beautiful sight her parents had ever seen. An absolutely magical Christmas tree. Since it was Julia's turn to leave, she made sure that her parents had the best Christmas ever. Then she plucked a tiny branch to plant and to remember.